I remember that morning so vividly. I was sitting by the window, sipping my coffee, when suddenly, I felt it, a strange flutter in my chest. Not pain, but something wasn't right. My heartbeat was off. You know, heart disease doesn't always come like thunder. Sometimes, it whispers. That moment, it scared me. Not because I was afraid of dying, but because I hadn't yet taught my grandson how to ride a bike. If you're over 60 like me, maybe you felt it too, that silent worry. Maybe your doctor mentioned high blood pressure, or you've wondered if there's a better way to protect your heart. In today's story, I'll share two simple things, two humble natural remedies for heart disease, that changed my life. Not theories. Just what worked for me. And before we dive in, if you're someone who values simple wisdom, hit that like button, and subscribe to join our community of seniors who are choosing to live stronger, longer. And hey, stay with me until the end. I've got a story about a retired judge who shocked his doctor so much, the poor man thought his machine was broken. You won't want to miss that. Let me take you back. I was 63, still teaching history at the local high school. One Friday afternoon, I was finishing up a lecture about World War II, and then, just like that, my vision blurred. My knees buckled. I collapsed in front of 20 teenagers. I woke up in a hospital bed, machines beeping around me. A nurse looked at me and said, "Mr. Bennett, you're lucky it wasn't a stroke." That was my wake-up call. The doctor came in, serious face and all, and said my blood pressure was dangerously high, my cholesterol was through the roof, and I'd need to be on pills, probably for life. Now listen, I'm not against medicine. But that day, lying in that hospital bed, something shifted in me. I didn't want to survive, I wanted to live. Fully. Long enough to hold my first great-grandchild. That weekend, I called an old friend, Frank. Frank had been through his own heart scare years before. He laughed and said, "Harold, you don't need to fear medicine. But you can add some natural remedies for high blood pressure into your life. It's not one or the other." He told me about two herbs, cayenne pepper and hawthorn berry. I'd never heard of them. But something about the way he spoke, like he was passing me a secret recipe from our ancestors. Now, I'll tell you what I learned, how I used these two to clean up my heart, lower my cholesterol, and steady my pulse. But before we go there, let me ask you, have you ever had a moment like that? A sign from your heart, telling you it's time to change? If you have, write it in the comments below. I read every single one. Let's support each other. And remember, stay with me until the end. That retired judge I mentioned. The one who shocked his doctor. That story's coming up. The first time I tried cayenne pepper, I thought my mouth was on fire. Frank gave me a tiny jar of bright red powder and said, "Start with just a pinch, Harold. A quarter teaspoon in warm water before meals." I laughed. How much could a pinch of spice really do? Well, let me tell you, that tiny red dust made my whole face sweat. But within days, something changed. My hands felt warmer. My morning walks got easier. And when I checked my blood pressure, it had dropped. Not much at first, but enough to give me hope. I did some digging. Turns out, the magic is in something called capsaicin, the compound in cayenne pepper that gives it heat. Studies show it can help lower blood pressure naturally, improve circulation, and even act as a natural blood thinner. And here's the twist, it's not just about the heart. I started sleeping better, breathing easier, and even my memory felt sharper. It's like my body was waking up again. But remember, not all cayenne is the same. You want the organic kind, with a heat rating around 35,000 to 50,000 Scoville units. That's the sweet spot. I've been using it for over a decade now. Just a small pinch before each meal. It still makes me cough sometimes, but it also makes my heart smile. If you've ever tried cayenne pepper for circulation or natural remedies for heart disease, let me know in the comments. What was your experience? Did it tingle? Did it help? And don't go anywhere. In just a minute, I'll tell you how a simple tea helped a man come off 6 different medications. That's up next. I still remember that afternoon. The rain was light, tapping on the porch roof. I sat in my old rocking chair, holding a warm cup of tea, thinking of Mary. She always said, "Harold, good tea is like a hug for your heart." That day, I missed her more than usual. So I made a cup of something new Frank had given me, Hawthorn berry tea. I wasn't expecting much, just a warm drink to soothe an old man. But what happened surprised me. The taste was gentle, earthy, with a soft fruitiness. I drank slowly, and that night, I slept like I hadn't in years. No tossing. No pounding heart. Just peace. Over the next weeks, I kept the ritual. 1 cup, every evening. My blood pressure began to level. No more sudden dizzy spells. And my heart. It felt calm. Not sluggish. Just steady. I learned that Hawthorn berry works deeply. It supports the heart's contractions, helps regulate blood pressure, and strengthens the arterial walls, all in a way that feels natural. Not forced. What I didn't expect was the emotional change. I wasn't just getting better physically, I was sleeping with a lighter mind. Less fear. More hope. My doctor looked at my charts after 2 months and said, "Mr. Bennett, whatever you're doing, keep doing it." I smiled because I knew. It wasn't magic. It was tea. It was choosing to give my heart the space to rest. And what's more, it's safe. Even while I was on medications, it never caused issues. Slowly, with guidance, I was able to wean off most of them. Frank used to say, "Cayenne gives your heart the spark. Hawthorn gives it the rest it deserves." And he was right. If you've tried Hawthorn tea or are curious about natural supplements for heart health, let me know in the comments. Every heart has a story. I'd love to hear yours. Don't go away. Up next, I'll share Henry's story. 6 pills a day, down to 0. And how he stunned his own doctor. You know, the hardest part wasn't the diagnosis. It was that moment, walking out of the doctor's office, and realizing I had a choice to make. Pills for life, or change. Most people think they only have one path. That once you're diagnosed with high blood pressure or heart disease, you're locked into it. But that's not true. The body, your body, is remarkable. It wants to heal. And healing isn't just about what you take. It's about who you become. That's what I've learned through these years. I didn't get better just because of cayenne pepper or hawthorn berry, though they helped. I got better because I stopped seeing myself as a patient, and started seeing myself as someone in charge again. I changed how I eat, fewer processed foods, more leafy greens, berries, and healthy fats like olive oil. I walked every morning. I learned to breathe deeper. I sat under the sun and let myself feel alive. The twist? None of this felt like a sacrifice. It felt like coming home to the version of me I'd forgotten. And the best part? The stronger your heart gets, the slower it beats. It doesn't need to rush. It knows it's safe. So if you're listening now, wondering if it's too late, it's not. Not even close. You're not stuck. You're just one decision away. If this message speaks to you, leave a red heart in the comments. Tell me, who do you want to become, starting today? And stay with me, up next is Henry's story. A retired judge, 6 meds a day, and then, something amazing happened. Some stories stay with you. I met Henry 5 years ago at a wellness retreat in the hills of Vermont. It was spring. The kind of day where the air smells clean, like the earth's just had a bath. He sat beside me during breakfast, tall, proud, but tired. I noticed him quietly sorting out a plastic pill box. Morning pills, lunch pills, night pills. 6 in total. I used to be a judge, he said, with a half smile. Now I feel like a prisoner to my own body. That line stuck with me. Henry had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, acid reflux, gout, and even stomach ulcers. Each condition brought a prescription. He didn't hate the pills, but he hated depending on them. I asked if he'd ever tried natural remedies for heart disease or blood pressure. He said no. Too complicated, he replied. I'm not into herbs and potions. But he agreed to try, just one thing, a liter of Hawthorn berry tea each day. And a little cayenne pepper in warm water before meals. 4 months later, Henry knocked on my door. I barely recognized him. Harold, he grinned. I can button my coat now. He had lost over 40 pounds. His doctor was shocked, thought the blood pressure monitor was broken. But it wasn't. Henry's blood pressure was 120/80. Normal. Of all 6 meds. And that same doctor said, whatever you're doing, don't stop. Henry didn't do anything magical. He made small, consistent choices. A walk. A tea. A change in mindset. And that's what I want you to remember. Healing doesn't always need a revolution. Sometimes, it just needs a beginning. Tell me, what's one small change you'll start this week? Comment below. I read every one. And before we wrap up, I've got one last message. 1. I think your heart needs to hear. You're still here. That tells me something. It tells me your heart is listening. Maybe you're like I was, tired of feeling tired. Tired of waiting on prescriptions, of watching numbers rise while hope falls. But let me tell you this, friend, heart health is not a fantasy. It's not a gift only some receive. It's a choice we make, daily, quietly, and with care. And the body? It responds. Every walk you take. Every leafy green you eat. Every cup of Hawthorn tea or pinch of cayenne pepper. It's all sending the same message to your heart, you matter. I'm still fighting for you. I'm 76 now. And stronger than I was at 66. Not because I found a miracle pill. But because I built small habits, anchored in belief. So here's what I want you to do. Leave a comment and tell me your commitment this week. Just one thing. One small action you'll take toward your heart. Like this video if you felt even a flicker of hope. Subscribe if you want more stories, more truth, and a community that walks this road together. And if you're still wondering whether this is possible for you, let me say it plainly. Yes, it is. I believe in you. And I'll see you in the next story.